A very, very good evening to you all. I'm very happy that a lot of you have taken out time to be with us today because the guest that we have is a very, very special guest all the way from Delhi. MLF is the social entrepreneurial wing of the MCCI that focuses on women. This year, MLF has tried to create engaging events in areas like cooking, nutrition, interior design, and personal branding, to name a few. Beautiful skin is the foundation of beauty, and I'm proud to say that our guest today is an authority on this subject. To make the most of this session, please ask as many questions as you may like. Dr. Geetika Mittal Gupta has over a decade of experience in the field of cosmetology. She is an acclaimed and award-winning celebrity cosmetic physician with excellence in unconventional anti-aging therapies. As the founder and medical director of ISAC, an international skin and anti-aging chain of wellness centers, she amalgamates a three-tier approach to long-term beauty, including therapy, prevention, and maintenance. A DPD from Cardiff University, Dr. Geetika has also participated in AMWC in Monaco and ICAD. A pioneer in the field, she was first to introduce fat freeze treatments in the country. With her passion for beauty and quest for bringing the latest treatments in India, Dr. Geetika introduced Korean beauty facials. As the sole franchise owner of renowned wellness brand Revive Me in New Delhi, she was also credited with initiating her clients to global signature 4 therapies and booster injections. Recognizing her work and contribution to the field, she has been honored by a series of awards, including Vogue Beauty Award 2019 as the Best Skin Expert, Portfolio Award, and Best Hospital for Wellness and Healthcare in Delhi and NCR by Worldwide Achievers. A prolific orator, Dr. Geetika has hosted several webinars. A regular face and voice in Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, and Grazia and others, she was also closely associated with Cosmo Beauty Weekend. More recently, she has been conducting numerous skincare masterclasses on Vogue, Elle, and Hello. A mother of 2, she likes to spend time with the family and enjoys cooking and baking with her children. Her mornings are committed to meditation and workout sessions. A very, very warm welcome, doctor. We're very excited to have you here and learn all about skin management and good tips.
Thank you, Stigna. Thank you for such a heartening introduction. It's indeed a very, very warm welcome. And I'm super excited for all the ladies who are joining us today. And so idea is your skin is actually the largest organ of your body. You know, all the organs in the body otherwise are hidden inside the skin, but your skin is the largest organ which actually can be seen. So that is why skin is really important. Your skin is something that protects your skin from all the damages, be it your temperature, humidity, be it the shocks, be it the electric waves, be it the wind, which is dry or humid. So your skin is very, very important. Even from the UV light, which we keep talking about, your skin protects you, or the internal framework of the body is protected by the skin. So your skin reflects you for a very long time, and that's why I say it's very important for each and everyone to take care of the skin. And today's talk would start with the basics of skincare, wherein I'll talk about how to know what skin type are you. Because what I believe is that your skin type is just not something that you're born with. Your skin type changes throughout the month, especially for women. Like around your periods, you would feel that your skin is more oily and you are having 1 or 2 acne here and there. So your skin not only is temperature sensitive, but it is also hormone sensitive. It's also stress sensitive, and that's why your skin type changes. So how to know what skin type are you? How to layer the products and how to choose the products rightfully according to your skin type. And then depending on that, I would also talk a little bit about anti-aging. What is the right time to start anti-aging products? What are the anti-aging products available in the market, and what are the treatments available in the market? Make our talk very, very interesting like that. And post the talk, I would definitely have some time to answer all the questions. So please keep putting all your questions in the chat box so that we can take them later on. So let's start with skin types. So skin types, we majorly all know that a skin type is dry, oily, combination, or sensitive. But what skin type are you? You can actually know that by running a small, simple test at home. Just wash your face in the morning and leave it as it is without applying anything for some time. And observe your skin. So see, if your skin is very, very itchy and stretchy around the cheeks, then you have dry skin. If you have some oil accumulation around your nose, then you have oily skin. But if it is itchy and dry over here and oily around here, then you have a combination skin. But if your skin starts to get very red and very sensitive, then you have a sensitive skin type. It's a very simple test that all of you can do at home to know what skin type are you. But still, if you have difficulty understanding what skin type you are, then you can always choose products which fall in the category of sensitive skin type, because they are formulated to suit, in fact, the most sensitive skin also. So you cannot actually go wrong with it. So that is what we need to know when it comes to knowing the skin type. But when it is about dry skin, I see so many patients in my clinic and they would just generally come to me and say, oh, doctor, we have dry skin. But now there is another terminology which we talk about. It's called dry and dehydrated skin. So dry skin is just your moisture level from your skin not being there, because the upper natural moisturizing factor, which is a part of your skincare barrier, is not enough nourished. But when we talk about dehydrated skin, it means that the water content from inside the body is missing. And how to differentiate? A dehydrated skin person will always look very sallow, dry. Your under eye dark circles will be more accentuated. And that is not something that has been for a very long time. It can be easily treated. It can be due to a lifestyle change in your medication, in your hormones, or due to alcohol consumption. But a dry skin always remains dry for a long period of time. So it's very important for you to know, because even for the moisture that we would use for that particular skin type would be different. For example, in dehydrated skin, it's very important for you to increase the water intake of the body, because if the skin is dehydrated from inside, no matter how much moisturizer you put, your skin will always be dehydrated. So this is a little bit about skin types. Now we talk about skin products. Now, what is important, what is not, how to layer the products, and what is actually essential and not. So we start with cleanser. It would be actually funny to some, and it might sound okay to a lot of people over here, that they don't wash their face in the morning. They just simply say that, oh, I wake up in the morning and I'm staying at home, so I don't wash my face in the morning. I don't feel the need to wash my face. Now, that is absolutely wrong. You need to wash your face both in the morning and in the evening. Why? Because in the morning, your skin has actually had a lot of sebum secretion at night. There is dirt accumulation on the face, and that has to be removed. You cannot let it all sit on your face, because it will definitely clog up the pores, cause congestion of the skin, and then other issues start to crop up. So washing the face both in the morning and the evening. Of course, during the day you're sweating, you're going outside, there's a lot of dust, smoke, which is again affecting the skin. But if you're going out a little bit more than the regular people, then of course you come back, wash your face, and then you wash your face again at night. If you're working out, then you definitely need to wash your face after your workout. So that permutation combination you have to do. Now, what kind of cleanser is important for you? Now, cleanser also depends on the skin type, and definitely changes with the seasons, because as you change your clothes, your cleanser also and your skincare also should change. Now, if you're in the summer weather, then your face wash will be more mild, will be more foamy. While in winters, when the skin generally tends to be more dryish, it will be more creamy. So your skin cleanser needs to change. So first is a skin cleanser, how to use it with a normal lukewarm temperature. No extremes of temperature is suggested. I don't want you to use very cold water or very, very hot water. Just use normal temperature water and then wash your face. So wash your face first and dab it dry. Don't use a very, very harsh towel on the face, because that will cause a lot of friction and drying on the face, exfoliation that you don't want. Just dab it dry with a nice cotton towel. And post that comes the next step, which is the toner. Now, a lot of you would say that toner is just a marketing gimmick. Why do we need a toner? Now, toner has come a very long way since the time it has been started talking about. Now, toner is important. Why? Because it balances the pH of the skin. These days, toners also have slight bit of exfoliators inside, like glycolic acid and other acids, which further removes the dirts and impurities on the face. And then after the toner, which is very important because it also makes your skin ready for the next step. Now, how to use the toner is also important. So you take either toner on a cotton swab and just swipe it on your face, or you can take it on your hand and then dab it on your face. So these are the two ways to use a toner. And you can use a toner depending on your skin type. There are loads of toners available in the market for oily skin, for dry skin, loads of them. After the toner, and how quickly these steps have to be done, you don't have to rest it out. You have to use the next step as quickly as possible because your skin needs to lock in all the moisture that it is there, the natural moisturizer. So after the toner comes the serum. Now serum is really very, very important. Serum is like the elixir to your skin because it is a potent mix of all antioxidants, be it vitamin C, hyaluronic acid, vitamin E, and all the different kind of acids that we want and vitamins that we want are there inside the serum. The serum would be recommended to you by a dermatologist depending on your major skin concern, and it goes after the toner. Take few drops of it, generally it's in a toner, in a dropper form, few drops of it on your palm, rub it, activate it, and then you press and release, press and release, press and release. That is the way to use the serum. And serum has to be used on your neck as well. Never forget that your face doesn't end on your chin, but it also includes your neck. Because especially during lockdown, due to overuse of digital devices, everyone is having those tech necks. So it's very important to use a serum. After the serum comes an under eye cream. We all need an under eye cream because of the digital use that we are doing to our eyes, and it more so when you're wearing a mask, your upper face is more visible. So it's important to use an under eye cream. Now there are different kinds of under eye dark circles also when you have to choose an under eye cream. There are vascular dark circles which are bluish, purplish in color. So you just stretch your under eye area and see what color is there. If it is bluish purple, it's vascular under eye pigmentation. If it is brownish, it is just periorbital melanosis due to overproduction of melanin. And if it is just dry, sunken under eye area, that's probably due to genetics, hormones, or fat loss under the eye. So there are different kinds of under eye issues, or they can be baggy eyes with bags under it, or it can be puffy eyes. So you talk to your dermatologist and your under eye cream would be suitable for your particular under eye area. You use few drops of it under the eye and then you swipe them inside to out, inside to out. You can also give a slight bit of massage on your brow area, and again it goes from in to out. That's how you use an under eye cream. What I love to do, a tip from me, I put my under eye cream inside the fridge so that when I apply it, it also gives a nice cooling feeling and removes that extra puffiness around the eye. After the under eye cream comes your moisturizer. Yes, all skin types need a moisturizer, be it dry skin, oily skin, because sometimes when your skin is excessively oily, it can mean that your skin is actually producing oil, more oil to compensate for the natural moisturizer. So it's important for you to use some moisturizer. Now that moisturizer can be for dry skin, for an oily skin, it would be more gel based, but you have to use a moisturizer. And all moisturizers, everything goes from top to bottom. So you never do this is on your skin, but you go like this, right? And then after the moisturizer is sunblock. Sunblock we all have heard. I'm sure all of us are reading a lot of articles these days, and we are well informed. A sunblock of minimum SPF 30 to 50 is important. You should apply it half an hour before stepping out in the sun, and every 2 to 3 hours when you're out in the sun, because sunblock disintegrates on its own. And by the meaning of disintegration, I mean it loses its properties to protect your skin. So if you ask me what is the most important step in your skincare regime, of course, it's the sunblock, because that is protecting your skin. So your daycare regime is more about protection because you're going out in the sun and you're out and about. And at night, it is more about rejuvenation. It is more about replenishing your skin. So at night, definitely wash your face, you tone your face, you apply the serum, you apply the under eye cream, and then the night cream. Now things can be added over here depending on what skin concern you have. So if you have specific pigmentation around like melasma or some acne pigmented scars, then your doctor would give you targeted serums or creams to apply on that. Okay. And then if you are like post early 30s or late 30s, and it's a good time for you to start with some retinols at night. Retinols are very important because it tightens up your pores, it lifts up your skin, but you have to use it rightfully. You have to use it like maybe once or twice in a week to start with it, so that your skin starts, acclimatizing to it, and then you make it a regular routine. So retinols can be added, and then comes the exfoliators, which are a mix of a lot of AHAs and BHAs to exfoliate the dead skin. So that is for the night. So nighttime, your skincare routine would also change depending on your skincare concern, depending on your dermatological needs, so your doctor would tell you what to do. So this is about layering of the products. And if you still find it very difficult to remember as to what product to use and how, always remember the consistency. The lightest product goes first. As it becomes more and more denser, that is when it comes further on. So the toner that you're using is the lightest one. It is more like watery, and then comes the serum, which is a little more thicker, and then the cream, and so forth, so on. So that is about layering of the products. Now, after that is our favorite topic, about aging. I understand a lot of people over here generally ask me, Doctor, what is the right time? What is the right age to start using anti-aging products? I'm just 20. Do you think I need this treatment? So I always tell them that aging is a number. And in dermatology or skin, we don't treat your number, but we treat your concern. So that is something that you should always remember when you're meeting a dermatologist or choosing a treatment. Now, anti-aging is meant for removing the signs of aging. Now, what is aging? So when you're born, your skin or your face is more like this. It's a triangle with its edge on the bottom. But as you age, your face becomes like this because all the fat and everything is coming down. The gravity is pulling it. Fat loss is happening. Lines are coming. That's how it happens. Just imagine a nice juicy grape and a raisin. What is the difference? The juicy grape is full of volume. It's full of juice inside. This, just imagine that. And it's, very glossy to look at. And when you look at a raisin, it is dried up. There are lines, there are wrinkles on it. So that is what aging does. It removes that important hyaluronic acid from your skin. And the collagen inside the skin is disintegrated. And it has given you a nice raisin, which is also very sweet and nutritious. But then, of course, when we are talking about beauty, we're talking about contours. So what is the right time to start using anti-aging products? And when do you start aging? So you start aging when you are actually born, because your skin is an organ. So the moment you start using it, it starts aging. So it is very important that you start with, like, if someone has babies, you should make sure that the skin is moisturized enough for young babies. And then comes the importance of sunblock even in children and teenage people. So if they're going out in the sun, they should wear a sunblock. The sunblock would change depending on their activities. If they are sweating a lot, they should wear a sweat-resistant sunblock. If they're swimming, it should be wet and dry touch sunblock so that the sunblock doesn't get rinsed out, and it has to be reapplied again and again. So this is something that all the mothers over here should also take note of, and use a sunblock which is more physical sunblock in nature rather than chemical, because physical sunblock does give a white cast on the face, like you see the cricketers and other sports people wearing. But that white cast is actually the physical content of the sunblock. So with children, we don't want more chemical sunblocks to be there. So physical sunblock would always be better for them. And in fact, even for people who are allergic to certain chemicals, they can also always choose the physical sunblock. Having said so, the physical sunblock would definitely give you that white cast on the face. So sunblock comes when you're in your teenage life, in your young life. But in teenage, there is also an issue about acne, which definitely comes up to most of us. So when it comes to women, definitely we evaluate. I personally make sure that I evaluate them for PCOD, because PCOD is one of the major reasons of acne. And when it comes to boys, it's generally teenage acne, the sprout of their hormones. So it can also be treated. You never grow out of acne. That is something that you need to always know, because if one is having acne, make sure you visit your dermatologist on time, because that acne will definitely change into scars. And once it changes into scars, then you need more and more treatments on top. So our scars are like, more deeper inside. It's like an iceberg. 2/3 of the issue is more under the skin than on the top. So when you have scars, then there are resurfacing lasers, loads of deep chemical peels that are suggested. So treating active acne is most important. What is acne? It's clogging up of pores due to sebum secretion, sweat, or dirt. Those normal pores, which are the follicles where we have on our face, they get clogged up, they get inflamed, they turn into acne. So that is pretty much about your teenage life. Then comes your 20s, when you have dealt with acne and you might still have it. So make sure that you see your doctor. That is the time you should visit a dermatologist to know your skin type and follow good, proper, disciplined skincare regime. You start with the face wash, toner, everything that I've told you, that should be there. And in the late 20s, when you are just, starting with the 30s, we will introduce a retinol. And when the woman is turning into 40s, then I would add more peptide-rich, ceramide-rich creams for them. So these are the kind of skincare regimes that keep changing, that are the permutation combinations that we make for our clients depending on the age and the skincare concern. Now, talking about anti-aging skincare treatments, there are loads of them in the market, but what is what and how to choose? So there are talks about Botox, there are talks about fillers, there are talks about energy-based treatments. So what happens? We have two types of lines on our face. One is when you frown. These are the dynamic lines. That's line of 11. Those parallel lines on the forehead. We smile, we get these crow's feet, and these are called the static lines, which come on expression. So some people who have that general habit of frowning and reading a newspaper or something, they would generally have this all the time. And that's where they get to hear it from their kids or their husbands, why do you look stressed all the time? So that is not something that you would want to, right? And then is the lines which are about the fat loss under the eye. So you can't choose it. Even sometimes a 20-year-old girl has a fat loss under the eye. Why? Because genetically her face is made like that. I always tell my patients, only if you could choose fat and hair at the right places. It's never like that. You cannot choose. So fat loss under the eye, nasolabials, jowls hanging, that's what happens. So what to do? Once it has happened, the only way to treat is to intervene and treat it. There are 2-3 various ways of treating it. For the upper face, where the dynamic lines are, the best way to treat is only and only Botox. So if some of your friend is telling me, oh, I don't do Botox and she has no line on her forehead, please don't believe her. It's only Botox. Everyone does it. So Botox, what it does, it only relaxes your dynamic lines. So even when you're trying to express, those lines aren't coming. So it's always relaxed. So rather than looking all frowned and stressed, you look more relaxed, you look more happy the way you want to be. So that's what Botox does. The results last only about for 4 months. And after 4 months, you need to repeat it again. If you don't want to repeat it, it will go back to where it started from. It's not that it will do any damage to the skin. So that's for it. It's US FDA approved. If you choose to get it done, go to the right doctor. Make sure they open the vial in front of you. Make sure you check what are they injecting. Just don't bargain. These are the treatments that you don't want to bargain upon, because if someone is giving you very cheap deals, I'm sure they're doing something which is not right. Maybe they're using an old Botox vial, or maybe they're just experimenting on you or making you guinea pigs. Please don't do that. Then comes about the lower face. So lower face, where the fat loss has happened, that's where fillers work. Now, fillers are hyaluronic acid-based injections. Hyaluronic acid we all love. We have spoken about hyaluronic acid in the creams. And it's a normal gel present inside our body, inside our joints. So the moment we inject this gel, it imbibes water, it plumps up that area and lifts up that area. That's what it does. That's all. But it's a job of a doctor and esthetician to sculpt your face with the filler. So if someone does more over here, less over here, then you can have facial dysmorphism. So you have to, again, go to the right doctor. And if you want to work with your features, say, for example, you have never had good lips and you want a little bit of volume on the lips, go to a doctor with the rightful expectation. You don't want to become Angelina Jolie in one day, because that will not suit your face. The doctor should be able to tell you what kind of features look in symmetry on your face. Symmetry is very important. So these fillers also last for about 9 to 10 months. After that, you need to repeat it. They get digested in the body naturally. There are side effects like some mild swelling, redness, but they're all temporary, and this the doctor will tell you. Always make sure you go to the right clinic. Check what syringe they are putting on you. Is it the right kind of a brand? Is this the date of manufacture and expiry over there? Make sure you always note all of that, because that's really important, and it's your face. Don't choose to do any of these treatments just before a big night or a wedding, because the doctors generally like to tend to go slow so that you can get used to what they are doing. The right results take about a week, 10 days to come. So don't just go to the doctor and ask them to do their magic a week before. Go at least a month before so that you can work easily and patiently with the doctor. Now, I do get patients who say, oh, doc, I don't want to do any of these injectables, but I have these jowls hanging, my skin is sagging, I want something like a lift, please do something. So for them, we have treatments like Ultherapy, Exilis, which use radio frequency and ultrasound energy to lift up. So we all have heard about ultrasound. We have gone for ultrasounds while we were pregnant. So ultrasound is as safe as that even pregnant women can get ultrasound scans done. So in Ultherapy, we use ultrasound energy to focus and give to the collagen, which tightens and remodels the collagen. So when we give that energy on the collagen, it tightens it up. So this is a non-surgical treatment, no needle, no pain. So we numb the face with a cream, and one can actually basically just walk in and walk out after this procedure. There is mild redness and swelling post the treatment, and the treatment results show after about 2 to 3 months, because that is the time the collagen takes to tighten up. And you need to only repeat it once in 10 months. So that's the best point. It's a gold standard treatment. Jennifer Aniston, a lot of other celebrities have actually gone online and said that they do get a therapy done once in a while, because that keeps the collagen always boosted. So that's one treatment that I would suggest for any of my patients. In fact, a lot of patients who are coming and visiting me from out of Delhi take this treatment because they don't have to keep coming back for it. They only have to come back after a few months to repeat it. So they do take it very, very regularly. So that's all for anti-aging as of now. I hope everyone's over here in sync with what I'm talking and enjoying this talk. And
Absolutely,
then I will talk
Doctor.
about some DIYs, Stigna, and then we will take some questions. I know
Sure.
everyone loves DIYs. We are all experimenting at home.
Yeah.
So when it comes to DIYs, some things that I want you to know that you should not be doing. One is that don't make it and keep it in the fridge that I will use it over a period of time. You know, I've made a very interesting one today. Don't do that. DIYs are supposed to be used there and then. You don't have to leave it in the fridge. Fine. Number 2, you have to use fresh ingredients. Don't use something that you cannot eat. If it's expired, if it's an expired Greek yogurt lying in the fridge and you want to put it in your DIY, no, it doesn't go on your skin. Third, don't use direct lemon juice or cinnamon powder on your face. It can irritate your skin. It can also make your skin very sun sensitive. Don't do that. Then comes the next point. If you're using any exfoliators that your doctor has given or retinols, don't mix them with DIYs, because already you are using very potent skin products. And if you mix them with the DIYs, your skin can actually get into a very bad rash. So please don't do that. And last but not the least, always do a small patch test while you're planning to do a DIY for the first time, because there might be a case that some of the things that you're putting inside your skin would be allergic to it. So make sure you follow all of it. Now, few of my favorite DIYs that I would love to share. One is for the glowing skin. Just soak up few strands of saffron in milk and use it with cotton all over your face. This is one of the easiest DIY for glowing, radiant skin. You can do it 2 to 3 times in a week. In fact, you can make it a bedtime routine also. Another DIY is for tanned skin. A lot of my patients have always this question, Doctor, what to do? I have a lot of tan. So you make rice powder. Just churn rice in the blender and you make powder out of it. And with that powder, add a little bit of honey to the rice powder, add a little bit of papaya, mashed papaya to it, and apply it on your face. It's a brilliant exfoliator. It will remove all the tan. But it is very, very potent, so don't overuse it. Use it only once in like 10-15 days. Then comes something for hydration and anti-aging. I'm sure we all are splurging with a lot of wine these days. So any of that leftover red wine you have, just use 2 spoons of red wine, half a spoon of cocoa powder, mix it well. You can add a little bit of avocado also to it if you want to, if your skin is really dry and mature, and then apply it on your face. This is a very good anti-aging face pack, which will also moisturize and give you a good glow. So these are 3 of my favorite DIYs that any one of you can try, but make sure you do a test patch before you do it.
Sorry, we can't hear. Yes, yes. Thank you, doctor. I think that was amazing. I think skin is a topic that you can go on for hours, but you were able to really touch on so many aspects. And so I'm inviting, I think there's a question from Facebook that I'll take up first. For men, what to use to prevent skin from sun rays?
Same thing as women. Skin is skin. It doesn't know age. It doesn't know sex. You have to use face wash, serum, sunblock. Sunblock that your wife uses, same thing goes on your face.
I think that's an important tip, because I don't think men take their skin very seriously at all.
You know why? Because men shave their skin, and when they shave their skin, the dead skin on their face also comes off. So they do feel that every time they shave their skin, the skin that comes out looks more fresher. But what about the upper part of the face, which is something which is catching more attention now, because now the lower part is covered with the mask. I have more male patients now who are telling me, Geetika, please work on my under eye area. You know, my wife is telling me about this pigmentation around my eyes. Yeah. So Indian men, we have the genes which can more prone to pigmentation. So you have to take care. There are no shortcuts. You have to apply sunblock.
What serum would you recommend, off the shelves or medicated?
Absolutely. You're talking to a doctor, so medicated all the time. Don't go cheap on your skin. Make sure you take a proper consult. And Corona has given us the gift of virtual consults. So you can always choose to book a virtual consult. In fact, even I've been doing a lot of virtual consults with my patients. So do a virtual consult, understand your skin, and use a good skin regime. You know, this is the time you're investing in your wellness, in your skin. So do it properly.
And what do you suggest for pigmentation around the lip?
So periorbital pigmentation is another thing which is very common. First of all, I would like to know that what is the history? Is it your genetics? Is it smoking? Is it drugs? Or is it due to application of something? Not many times some people apply something unknowingly, maybe a red color lipstick didn't suit them well. So what is the reason? Because I have to know the reason before I treat it. And after that, I would run a blood check to understand if there is any deficiency. Otherwise, we have a lot of treatments inside our clinic. We have lasers, we have peels. We also have lip tattoo treatment in our clinic, which is really, really very, very popular amongst, crew staff, because they have to wear so much makeup all day long. So there are a lot of treatment options, but those come after we investigate what is the reason.
Someone has dry skin, Ms. Das, so she's asking you for recommendations for products for dry skin.
So, Ms. Das, it's a very incomplete question to be asked, and would like to know what's your age, what is the skin regime you have been using, and we need to test if it's dry skin or dehydrated skin. Small, simple test. Just pinch your skin, right? So if your skin goes back very quickly and still feels a little dryish, then it's dry. But if it's taking time to go back, it's dehydrated. So dehydrated skin has to be treated more from inside. But there are a lot of interesting moisturizers like Hyaluronic moisturizer from Dermceutic that you can start using. Look for hyaluronic acid as an active in any product that you choose. You can start using, if I talk about some DIYs, use avocados on your face. It has natural fat inside that will also make your skin really, really good.
Great. Doctor, I wanted to ask you, as a mother of young children, your point on using sunblocks when children are going for sports and things like that. But I remember having this discussion with other moms that, sunblocks are full of chemicals and maybe it's better to use coconut oil for children. What do you suggest? I mean,
absolutely not. So coconut oil has no SPF inside it. As I said, there are physical sunblocks available. There are two types of sunscreens. One is physical, one is chemical. Use a physical sunblock for children, which has zinc oxide inside them. Zinc oxide and titanium oxide. These are the two major active ingredients to look out for.
Okay. And they say that a lot of what you eat, shows on you, whether it's your hair, your skin. What is your take on that? What is it?
It's 100% correct. As I always say, there are no shortcuts to beauty. There are no shortcuts to that glow skin that you want. You have to eat perfectly. If your diet is full of processed food, it will show on your skin with acne. But if your diet is full of good vegetables, a lot of alkaline food, it will show on your skin with glow. So you have to eat well. You have to sleep well. You have to also exercise well to keep your body boosted with the oxygen metabolism. So all these things have a very important role.
One last question from here. Addressing underarms darkness.
So underarm darkness is another very important thing, which in fact I'm seeing in my clinic. So it can be due to obesity, it can be due to PCOD, it can be due to wearing off a lot of clothes which cause friction or oversweating. So first of all, as I said, we would want to know what is the reason of underarm darkness. You can do some scrubbing at home. You can use that rice powder scrub at home, which can help. But if the reason is known, then the treatment is always better. We do chemical peels, microdermabrasion, and lasers in the clinic to remove the underarm darkness. But if a person sweats a lot, then we also have a treatment for hyperhidrosis or excessive sweating to reduce the sweat.
Great. Mansi, I would invite you to ask a few questions, and anyone else, from the MLF members who joined the panel, please feel free to ask your questions.
So Dr. Geetika, a lot of my friends, post 40, suddenly we just saw a lot of pimples coming from nowhere, and in our teens we've never had pimples, and suddenly our post 40 and then moles and these spots, beauty spots, and all just erupting from nowhere. So is it anything to do with age, or and it's a pattern with a lot of friends?
It's a lot to do with age and hormones, both of them. So if you're getting acne, it's adult acne, which needs to be treated hormonally. And please check on the intake of sugar and dairy in your diet, because all that is definitely showing in the skin. With COVID lockdown, I think most of the mothers here have become bakers, and everyone's cooking, baking, and eating all of it. So please don't do that. It's all showing on your skin. And with moles and other skin tags that can appear, again, we would run a fasting blood sugar test and a hormonal check. And if it is growing in a very abrupt way, we might even do a biopsy if it doesn't look good. But a lot of it is to do with your diet and your hormones. And you need to take a treatment for that.
Sugar and milk are not really good.
Absolutely.
Something that, yes, our cakes are full of.
Yeah. So look for a nice gluten-free healthy cake.
Okay. Another question I had is, as you mentioned, this dehydrated skin, so that needs to be dealt from within. I mean, as a kid also, it's always been that, you should drink at least so many liters of water or something like that. And as you grow older, like I see for my in-laws, the doctors have actually stopped the intake of water because it's leading to bloating and things like that. So what is the actual amount of water intake?
About 3 to 4 liters, but then it depends on your physical activity. Are you exercising? Are you running? Are you sweating a lot? Because then you increase the intake of water accordingly. For the elderly or the senior people, the water content is lowered down because they don't want to put pressure on the kidneys. They might be on certain medication that doesn't require them to do so. They might be heart patients. So you need to see what is your activity level, what kind of water loss or electrolyte loss is your body going through, and then regulate the intake of water.
So basically 3 to 4 liters should be good enough for all of us. And as you said, people have hair at the wrong places and everything. So again, as you age, a lot of people suddenly get a lot of hair from nowhere. What about that?
That's also hormonal.
Hormones.
Absolutely. But anyone who is facing any excessive hair anywhere on the body, please get laser hair reduction in time, because it only works on black hair. It doesn't work on gray hair. So if your hair starts to turn gray, and that is when you think on investing on yourself, it's too late. Don't try to wax your face. You can run into infections, into ingrown hair, into acne, burns. Never ever try to do that.
Okay. And one more thing I wanted to ask you is, with COVID, all the doctors have said, have zinc, have this. So everybody's giving all kinds of supplements and things like that. Would that have an adverse effect on the skin?
Absolutely not. Zinc is very good for your skin. And with COVID, we are suggesting everyone to have vitamin C, which is good for you, immunity and skin wise. Zinc, which is good for your immunity, good for your skin, good for your hair. Vitamin D, which is again good for your skin, hair, everything. But with vitamin D, you need to know what levels do you have, because it's a fat soluble vitamin. If you take too much of it, there can be toxicity also. But these vitamins are good for you.
Okay.
Where Jayanti ji asks, can you give some tips for healthy hair?
So Vijayanti ji, again, what you eat plays a very important role, and also your hormones. Anyone who comes for hair loss, we would run a blood check first of all to understand what are the levels. And then you have to eat well. You have to eat really balanced diet, which is full of micronutrients and macronutrients. A good smoothie, a handful of seeds with pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds every day is very important. You still have hair breakage, then make sure your protein content is also good. A lot of Indian vegetarians don't consume as much protein as they're supposed to be. As you age, your protein has to be higher because your body needs it. So protein content, micro and macronutrients. Along with that, if you're still having hair fall from the roots, thyroid can be a major reason of hair fall. Low hemoglobin can be a major reason of hair fall. Serum iron, ferritin needs to be checked. And then you can always start supplementing. Use supplements like biotin, GNC Keratin Enhance. These are some of the over-the-counter capsules available that you can start having.
Anyone from the panelists, inviting the MLF members, if anyone has a question? Okay, so I think Mansi ji, if you could, give the formal vote of thanks. And
thank you, Mansi. But I'll just like to say one thing before. So anyone, all of you ladies, thank you for inviting me. And anyone who wants to reach out, even in fact, I'm in Delhi. We have come out with mini facial kits that you can do at home. There are a lot of skincare tools that you can do at home. Because COVID has actually given me also an opportunity to reflect and think back that why is dermatology and all these exclusive things meant for people only in metros like Delhi and Bombay? Why not to anyone and everyone? So with now, the things have gone way up and we are more accessible. So don't be scared, reach out, and your skin is very important. You should love what you see in the morning in the mirror.
There's
We have
one
another
last question. Yeah, sorry. Should we take that, doctor, if you don't mind?
Sure.
What do we do with PCOD acne? Do laser removal of hair on, does laser removal of hair on the face help?
See, laser hair removal is for laser hair removal only. It's not a treatment for acne. So if you have PCOD, there are 3 questions in one question. If you have PCOD, that can result into acne. That can also result into hirsutism. So PCOD needs to be treated before, and that will take care of the acne also. But with your hair, real hair removal, that's only a cosmetic treatment to remove hair. Your laser will not treat the PCOD which is inside. PCOD is a hormonal problem. If it is borderline, you can take care of it with your lifestyle changes, reducing sugar and dairy, working out. Those are some simple things that you can start doing at home. But if the levels are very off and you're having a lot of acne, please go and see your endocrinologist, get your PCOD panel blood test done, ultrasound done, and see your endocrinologist and a dermatologist and a nutritionist. Make a team of these doctors to help you deal with it properly. Please don't start taking medication on your own. Please don't start doing diets on your own. It can be very well treated if you are doing a knowledgeable thing with it.
Okay. I think let's conclude, Mansi.
Can I ask you one last question, if you don't mind?
Sure.
Doctor, what happens is when you go to a doctor, maybe for your child or for yourself, and the doctor puts you on steroids for some reason, maybe you have terrible acne or you've developed a terrible rash or something like that. But what happens is, there's another school of thought where people much older to you feel कि नहीं steroids इतना नहीं लेना चाहिए, then you'll be on steroids lifelong and things like that. So how much does the steroid affect? Because it definitely gives you instant relief.
Hey,
but
Mansi,
does it bother you?
It's a very generic statement again. First of all, you need to know what are you taking steroids for? What is the ailment you are taking it for? How long are you taking it for? What is the way forward? If not steroids, what are the treatment options? And I think the new age doctors these days are very happy to have an open conversation and discuss with you. A lot of people in olden times used to apply steroid on their faces to make their skin lighter. Now that is a strict no-no because it has very long-term wrong repercussions. In taking of steroids just like that without any issue, I have never heard any allopathic doctor give you steroids until let's say inform you why are they giving it and how long you have to take it. There is a way to take them, taper it down, and there are always other options. If those options are not something suitable for your ailment, only then we go to that. There are no steroids given for acne. Absolutely not. There are no steroids for acne.
To bake it.
So I guess I think we're done. Thank you so much for your time, Geetika ji.
Thank you. Thank you, Mansi.
Thank you for organizing this. I mean, I think all of us, we've answered a lot of questions for a lot of us. And people who've not been able to log on right now would probably be able to watch it on Facebook later. And I'm sure people would watch it because, these are these small things which we don't really realize on a daily basis, but the very important tips that you've shared and really an insight to a lot of things. And we really appreciate that from MLF as well. And thanking all of you, thanking the audience who's been there today. And in case anybody wants to get back to you, if you could just share your details.
Sure. So you can reach out to me at Dr. Geetika. I'm there on Instagram. I'm there on Facebook as well. Just look up for Dr. Geetika or at Isaac Lux, ISAACLUXE. You can look us up at both the places and feel free to drop a message and me or my team will get back to you.
Thank you so much for taking our time. Thank you,
Thank you,
Doctor.
Snigdha. Thank you. Thank you, Mansi.
Bye-bye.